Welcome, Tiger fans, as well as Clatskanie Tigers fans, as we're here today at the pit for the final home game of the season. It comes in the third place playoff game today here on 1400 KBCH. The Tigers, with a win today, will assure themselves a spot in next week's OSAA On Point Community Credit Union State Championships, as Lincoln County is going to send a lot of teams to that state tournament at all three levels. At the 4A level, the Newport boys have already assured themselves a spot against Gladstone on Wednesday. Tomorrow, the Newport Cup softball team has a play-in game. They win that game, and they will be playing on Wednesday. For the Lady Tigers, they're also playing a third-place game today against the visiting Warrenton Warriors coming down Highway 101. That game is already underway. Got started first pitch around 4:30, about 20 minutes ago, as Lady Tigers have won all three games on the season against Warrenton, much like the boys have against the Clatskanie Tigers. The girls, currently ranked 6th in the OSAA standings, are set to host a playoff game in the first round. And then the way it would work out as a 6th seed, if they win, they would go on the road to play the 3 seed. Right now, that would be Cascade Christian, who Taft beat in a tournament earlier this season at Cascade Christian down at the Medford Sports Complex that they have there. Great place to get a tournament in. And for the Lady Tigers, a very winnable first 2 games in the tournament. For the boys, with a win here today, they would likely go on the road to Aragon, to the league champion from Special District 5. It's going to be a trip to Eastern Oregon, very likely for Taft boys. And then with a win, they would likely go on in the second round to take on Pleasant Hill, who's currently ranked number 2 in the state behind number 1 Brookings. In fact, Pleasant Hill is the only top 5 team that Taft is yet to play on the season, as they've played Lapine and San Am Christian and Brookings. As I take a quick look at some of those numbers, the coach's top 10 goes Brookings, Pleasant Hill, Lapine, San Am Christian, Rainier, and then Warrenton at 6. Then it goes Aragon 7, Joseph 8, Horizon Christian at 9, and Taft comes in at 10 in the coaches poll. They've remained a top 10 team in the coaches poll all season long. In some ways, you could say that Taft is the worst of the best teams in the state, as the only wins they have against the teams ranked ahead of them is 2 wins to 1 against Rainier. Otherwise, they have 3 losses to Warrenton, 2 losses to San Am Christian, and then 1 loss to Lapine and Brookings Harbor. In the OSAA top 10, and these are the rankings that matter when it comes to the state playoff alignment, Brookings comes in at number 1 with a 24-1 record on the season. Pleasant Hill playing in that very difficult Mountain Valley League Special District 3 with Pleasant Hill, San Am Christian, and Lapine, all ranked 2, 3, and 4, very similar to how it played out last season for the Tigers in their league with San Am Christian as well as Horizon Christian, as those 3 teams combined with Lapine made up the state semifinalists last year. Taft went 24-3 before that game against Lapine. 24-4 record on the season. They had an undefeated 12-0 West Valley League, as Taft was ranked number 1 for most of the season. Horizon Christian was 10th last year, and they made it to the state championship game. So for the Tigers, they know that there is still a lot to play for on the season, because they've seen teams that have been able to come to the forefront in the playoffs and get those upset wins. Tigers here in the first game will start Blaze Kimbrough on the mound. He's going to be going up against Luke Roth for the first pitch, throwing to Caden Hyman, and he gets Roth swinging, strike 1. On deck is Jack Booth, the catcher, followed by the first baseman Dawson Evenson. First base for the Tigers, it's Eli DeMello with Jordan Hall there on the right side, as Luke Roth swinging at the fastball away, strike 2. And then on the left side of the infield for the Tigers, Fico Ramos at third with Cody Knott at shortstop. Nice Kimbrough with the 0-2 count. See if you find the spicy curveball. This one's popped right back to Jordan Hall, who takes a few quick steps forward, and gets the short line out for out number 1 for the Tigers. Bringing up now Jack Booth, the catcher, as we saw Booth play shortstop earlier this year, as well as catcher, as their catcher normally is Cade Warren. He'll be on the mound today, starting for Clatskanie. So with one down, first pitch swinging, this one over to Cody, the two-hopper. Here's the throw to Eli at first for the quick out, 6-3. So 4 pitches and 2 outs for Blaze Kimbrough here early on. We'll bring up the first baseman, Dawson Evenson, who had a great 2-game series against Taft on Friday. Had multiple hits and runs batted. Only 3 runs scored for Clatskanie in the 3 games this year. For Taft, it's 38. As that's the first ball thrown by Blaze. That one misses outside on the curveball. So the 1-0. And this one's popped up into shallow right field. Eli's after it, and it falls into fair territory just down the line for a bloop single for Dawson Evenson as he continues the hitting ways, bringing up now the pitcher, Cade Warren. So first hit of the game here for Clatskanie. With 2 outs, as Eli made a great play down the first base side, but that one was over his head trying to kind of no-look catch that, and it was before Trenton could get there. So Coach Ryan Tompkins and the third base box calls out the play. Blaze will throw from the stretch here with 1 on and 2 down. Top of the first, he gets Warren swinging a big cut on strike 1 as Cade Warren had a deep shot into left center field in the first game on Friday. As Tai chased it down, he made a diving attempt. It went off Tai's glove and then off the fence. Curveball gets Warren swinging outside, and Blaze is in control early here with the 0-2 count. As he's got 45 strikeouts on the season. His dad pointed out that matches his total from last year. Evenson takes off. It misses outside. Throw from Caden is on the line, but the throw a little late. Stolen base for Dawson Evenson as he moves up now into scoring position. A 1-2 count for Cade Warren at the plate. As Evenson claps out. As season hasn't gone the way for Clatskanie this year. Just 7-17. They know with a win today, they've punched their ticket to next week's tournament. And Blaze Kimbrough, he fires the fastball inside against Cade Warren. Gets him on the strikeout to end the inning. Clatskanie gets 1 hit from Dawson Evenson. They leave him on the base, and we go into the bottom of the first in a 0-0 ball game back in 60 on your Tigers radio network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH. Here in the bottom of the first, it'll be the junior right-hander Cade Warren throwing on the mound, throwing to Jack Booth at catcher. First baseman will be Dawson Evenson. At second base, Sam Shockley. At third, Luke Roth. Shortstop, the freshman Andre Combs. In left field will be Chase Baker. In center field, Foster Evenson. And the right fielder is Nick George. Leading off for the Tigers, it'll be Trenton Fisher. As Trenton hitting .354 on the season, 29 hits, all singles for the young man, who's second in free passes as Fico Ramos leads the team in that category. First pitch swinging, fouled out of play along the first base side for Trenton. So So 0-1 with Cade Warren on the hill. As Tigers saw Cade in limited action on Friday. As everybody they saw against Clatskanie, they had success against. Curveball misses from Warren inside, 1-1 count to Little Fish. As Trent's done a good job this season overall, hitting .354 and the league hitting .360. So I'd say that he's been pretty consistent. That one misses outside, 2-1 count. Good job by Booth to catch it behind the plate. On deck is Eli DeMello. This one misses outside, 3-1 count, as our umpires are from the Mid-Valley Umpires Association. So we've got one behind the plate and one on each corner here at the pit. Fastball high, misses on the 3-1 count. Base on balls to Trenton Fisher. Now brings up Eli DeMello. So Eli hitting .432 on the season to lead the team, as that's better than last year's numbers. He hit .406 last season. As he's definitely turned it on as of late. It's the right time to do it. As Warren, curveball misses inside to DeMello. As he's throwing from the stretch with Trenton on at first base. As Dawson Evenson playing the bag over there. Tall junior with his brother out in center field. Here's a check throw. Trenton dives back. No tag applied. As Coach King in the first base box, Coach Hilgers in the third base box calls out the play. As Luke Roth, his toes are on the grass, so to speak, here on the turf infield, creeping forward, knowing Eli likes to bunt, swings through for strike one. Looks like a good breaking pitch that time called by Cade Warren. So Eli, last week he had the 2 home run game, full solo shots against Catlin Gable. Right now, a solid play into the gap and check throw back to first again. No tag applied. 1-1 count at the plate here, bottom one. 0-0 between the Tigers and the Tigers. Warren collects, goes to the plate, and a chopper foul down the third base side as Trent Fisher had taken off, but only after contact was made. So it's a 1-2 count now for Eli. Talked about before, Coach Hilgers will elect to bunt with 2 strikes. As Eli, he has been a good bunter. We'll see if he hits away here. There's a play to the plate, swung on, fouled, hit. Will it stay in play? Booth rips the catch off, and it gets outside the cage. And we'll try it again at 1-2. Cody Knott on deck, hitting .397 on the year. So definitely the meat of the lineup for the Tigers. But as you continue to look down the list, the bottom of the lineup, and we'll talk about it later, has been producing. The 1-2 for DeMello against Warren. Here's the play. Curveball swung, fouled, back to the cage. We'll try it again after back-to-back foul tips from Eli. As we mentioned before, both of these players, Warren and DeMello, were both honorable mention selections to the All-State team last year at the catcher spot. Eli has been more of a utility player for the Tigers this season. Check throw back to first for Trenton. Really worried about Trenton over there at first base. He only has 7 stolen bases on the season. The guy to watch for is Cody. He has 18. And there's a solid shot between the gap at shortstop. That gets away from Chase Baker, and it's going to allow Trenton to move up, and Eli hustles on down to second. So a single on the play as runners now 2 in scoring position for the Tigers. Cody Knott, as he has been one of the few players that you'd expect perhaps to send one out. Perhaps here, final home game. Can he do it? Maybe I'm just eager for a Cody Knott home run. As the young man has 35 runs batted in on the season. He leads the team in that category, as well as stolen bases like we just mentioned. With runners at second and third, a prime opportunity for the senior. Curveball, and that one misses high. So good location down the plate, but that one missed high for Warren. With runners on second and third, he'll throw from the windup. fastball misses high. So for Clatskanie, they finished 5th in the regular season standings. So Tuesday they went to 4th place Catlin Gable. Cody hits this one foul down the third base side. We'll try it again with the 2-1 count. As they won that game 4-2. As we said, the winner of this game is the 3rd place team for Taft. They are high enough in the standings that they would currently qualify as an at-large team, but with the loss, you don't know what that would do to your rankings. You don't want to test that theory. Late strike call at the plate, 2-2 count now for Cody Knott. Taft just wants to get this win and continue their streak of good play in the state tournament. The 2-2 from Warren. Curveball. Cody stays back as Luke Roth catches it. Here's the play at the plate, and they're going to tag out Trenton Fisher as fielder's choice. Good play by Luke Roth as Trenton just a little too far forward at that point in the base path at third. So that'll bring up Ty Fisher with runners on the corners. That one goes down as a 5-2 tag out. Probably see Cody take off here. Warren will go to the stretch. Second base is open. Righty versus righty. He steps off, and Cody almost took off as he had to backpedal and then turn those hips and get back to the bag as Warren stepped off as if he was going to third base and then went to turn to go to first. Cody almost bit on the play. 0-0 count. Pitch is in the turf. It gets away from Jack Booth. Eli DeMello will sprint and score at the wild pitch. So first score of the game goes to the Taft Tigers, and that moves up Cody Knott to second base as Taft now leads 1-0. As that fastball was just too far in the turf for Jack Booth to be able to catch. So Cody at second, time is called, and a balk has been issued, and Cody will head down to third. So the wild pitch got Cody to second. A balk puts him at third, and it's a 1-0 count for Ty at the plate. This one gets away from Booth. This will be a pass ball, and that allows Cody to score. And I think all three possible ways without being able to get a stolen base. He had a wild pitch, he had a balk, and he has a passed ball to come around and score. It's now 2-0. Taft on top of Clatskanie, bottom one with nobody on the bases for senior center fielder Ty Fisher, and it's now a 3-0 count as Cade Warren is starting to lose his control. That's 3 straight pitches that he's bounced into Jack Booth behind the plate. So looking to find the control with the 3-0. There's a fastball called strike inside half of the plate. 3-1. Just 1 out for the Tigers. That was Trenton Fisher on a fielder's choice ground out. As Ty hits this one hard, Andre Combs gets to it in the gap. Here's the throw to first, and Evenson is unable to stretch out and make the catch in time. As that was going to be a long throw for Andre Combs. I'm going to put that down as an infield single for Ty. So Blaze Kimbrough, the lefty on the mound, will come to the plate, batting right. Tigers leading the Tigers 2-0 in the bottom of the first here in Special District 2, third place game. Blaze hitting around the Mendoza line on the here. So despite the batting average, one area he's done a tremendous job has been the runs batted in. He's got 22 RBIs on 14 hits this season, and he's also 5th in stolen bases for the Tigers with 6. As Ty's going to try and nag a stolen base, and he does nab one. So called ball at the plate, I believe, with stolen base for Ty. So for the senior Fisher, that is stolen base number 10 on the season. He's now tied with Darius as This pitch misses, and Booth blocks it, comes forward, and hands that one back out to Warren. 1-1 count. On deck, third baseman Fico Ramos. No wind here at the pit today. Overcast skies, but it's dry. Pitch misses inside on the breaking pitch from Warren. 2-1 with one out. Tai at second, Sam Shockley at second. Moves over, and fastball comes in, gets Blaze swinging, strike two. So it's a 2-2 count officially at the plate. As a bit of sunshine now starting to peek through here at the pit. As Tai looks to take off on pitch, and he gets standing up easily at third base as that one was unable to be squeezed cleanly by Booth. Looked like he just wasn't able to catch it cleanly. And because he didn't catch it cleanly, unable to get down. Second stolen base for Ty Fisher. He's got 11 on the season. As Blaze gets the free pass on the full count. So runners on the corners now for Fico Ramos. As Cade Warren, we'll see perhaps if his day is done or if this is just a quick coaches meeting, as Coach Tompkins knows that in a 2-0 game, got to keep this one close, and so we might see an early hook as Luke Roth comes over the bump, and Warren will stay on. So Cade Warren continues as Coach Tompkins heads back to the dugout. So for the Tigers, Taft 2, Clatskanie 0 here with one out in the bottom of the first, as Tigers will use a courtesy runner, Ethan Thomas, or Graydon Kerr, excuse me. Oh, is it Kerr Thomas? That's Ethan Thomas out at first base. And there's the check throw to first. Thomas dives back. Looks to Coach King, nods back in return. So Fico, he's been having a good season, hitting .346 overall on the season, but hitting .395 in the league, just a hair under 400. Another check throw, and Ethan Thomas doing a good job of getting back to the bag and then getting back up quickly. You don't want to waste time on your stomach. You want to get back up in case Dawson Evenson is unable to get a clean throw from Cade Warren on that check throw. You can hustle down to second. From the stretch, curveball is low. It's in front of Jack Booth. He doesn't know it yet, though. Tai stays at third. 1-0 count for Fico, as Fico does lead the team in free passes. He's got 20 walks and 4 hit by pitches. Warren from the stretch, fouled back as Ethan Thomas took off for second. So we'll try it again, this time with a 1-1 count, as the on-deck hitter, Darius Smith, goes and scoops up that fouled pitch. So Ethan runs back to first, ties at third. 1-1 count, one down, bottom of the first. Here in the third place game, Cade Warren, the right-hander. Check throw back to first. Dawson Evenson makes the clean catch, doesn't even bother making the tag. We'll try it again. It's getting a solid crowd here. It's not the same crowd that was here last year for the league championship playoff game against Sandy Ann Christian. That one's in the turf for ball 2. Good block that time by Jack Booth behind the plate, as Tigers have scored 2 runs so far on a wild pitch and a pass ball. Thomas gets his lead at first. He takes off. This one's hit into the gap in left center field as Fico turned for 2. Tai scores standing up. Thomas is going to round third as this one gets all the way to the fence. And Fico's going to dig for third. The throw from Combs to Luke Roth. Does he get the tag? He's safe at third. Fico Ramos with the 2-run triple makes this one a 4-0 Taft lead here in the bottom of the first, scoring Tai from third easily. And then Ethan Thomas got on his wheels and hustled around from first base to score. As we will now have a pitching change. It's going to be Luke Roth, so we'll take a 60-second break here for the pitching change and be back with more of the bottom of the first here on your Taft Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back to the bottom of the first, where Taft leads Clatskanie by a score of 4-0 so far, as Fico Ramos just hit the two-run triple into left center field that went all the way out into the fence there. It's 365 to center field, as that one went about 350 or so to the fence. Solid shot by Fico. As Ethan Thomas, it was a hit-and-run call, and it was a great call by Coach Hilgers. So Combs is actually going to become the pitcher. I said it was Luke Roth. So it'll be Combs. I thought I saw Roth starting, but instead it's going to be Andre Combs. So the freshman, this is why you're allowed to scratch out your lineup card there and change it up. So we'll adjust accordingly. So I wonder if, so Roth will likely stay at third base, and Jack Booth then will move to shortstop. Cade Warren, who had started as the pitcher, instead will move to the backstop. So we'll keep it right here. I want to thank our Tiger sponsors, Power Ford, Kenny's IGA, Lincoln City Visitor Convention Bureau, and Lincoln City Parks and Rec. Waddell and Reed, Moe's Restaurants, Charlotte Lado at Farmers Insurance, George Moreland Plumbing, Most Wanted Painters, Wildwood Design, and Lincoln City Sporting Goods. As we've been talking a little bit about the state playoff tournament next week for baseball. Right now, they, with a win today, will be going on the road likely to Eastern Oregon, a long trip in the sunshine. I already know a few Tiger fans are going to be listening in on AM 1400 KBCH for that one, as that's a long trip for anybody to make. The Tigers, last year, Joseph in the quarterfinal round made the trip out after Clatskanie made the trip in the first round. It's been a familiar foe here in the last two seasons, as Taft went to Clatskanie last year and then hosted them in the playoffs. So this is game number 6 in the last 2 years between these squads. As right now, I believe this has definitely got to be a swapping cleats issue, as you can't wear the metal spikes on the turf bump. You can wear metal spikes everywhere else on the field. You just can't do it on the hill. As Eli, he has to change his out, and I think that's precisely what Andre Combs is doing right now. Now the issue is you hope that players have the right size shoes, or that you didn't wear your dress shoes on this nice long bus ride, as we are definitely paused for the shoes. And I think Combs has it under control now, so we will be ready to go here momentarily. Going to be Darius Smith, the left fielder, at the plate with the designated hitter, Lucas Heineman, on deck. So Andre Combs continues. Luke Roth continues at third base. So it'll go Cade Warren from the mound to the catcher. The catcher goes to shortstop, and the shortstop goes to the hill. First pitch is inside to Darius from Andre for ball 1. As I had already marked that it was Luke Roth in my book. So one more adjustment as that one misses. 2-0 count now to Darius. Fico at third, following the big triple that he just hit. Darius looking to keep the inning going. Swings, swats this one foul along the right field side. First strike, 2-1 count. As the sophomore hitting .364 on the season. Last year, Darius was not strictly a pinch hitter. He hit .286 last year, but he was not a big part of the lineup. As Taft, as we said, graduated 3 first-team All-State selections. As that'll be a 5-pitch walk to Darius. So he hustles down to first, and runners are on the corners now for Lucas. His grandma, she wanted to let me know pregame that she absolutely was listening to Friday's broadcast, even though she wasn't able to make the trip. As we said, always glad to be able to make the trips, and that's because of the support that y'all give to our Tiger sponsors. As curveball from Combs, miss it. No, there's the strike. So 0-1 count to Lucas. Lucas doing quite well on the season, hitting .321 overall, buoyed by his .500 batting average in league play. Check throw to first to try and get Darius, not in time, as Darius and Evenson have a little bit of contact there. So Fico in foul territory at third. Darius takes his lead, Combs from the stretch, pitch inside. Darius takes off, Warren one throw. Stolen base for Darius, third of the inning for the Tigers with two in scoring position here. It's a 1-1 count for Combs on the hill with one out, and Taft leading 4-0. Shockley covers at second. Here's the pitch, swinging, and strike two for Lucas. 1-2 count. Curveball from Combs was effective. Combs was effective early. The Tigers, the third time through the lineup, were just able to get to him. This one gets away from Warren, and Fico hesitated, stays at third, perhaps after seeing Trenton get thrown out. He was a little hesitant to make the move. Coach Hilgers taking the opportunity between pitches here to do a little bit of coaching with Fico about how he should have responded to that. So a 2-2 count for Lucas. And swats this one. Luke Roth comes forward, collects, throws to Evenson, who has to come off the bag, and that allows Lucas to be safe at first, score the run at home, and Fico will get the fifth run across. Darius goes to third. Lucas is safe, and we're going to call that a throwing error on the play. As Evenson was there, he just had to come off the bag. And so now the ninth man to bat this inning, Caden Heidman, the freshman catcher, gets the signal from Coach Hilgers. He'll step into the box. With Taft leading 5-0 in the bottom of the first. Combs throws from the stretch here. First pitch foul down the first base line, and it just went foul. Trying again, 0-1 now. Caden, as a freshman, hitting .265. As we mentioned, Darius last year hit .286. Darius didn't see anywhere near the amount of plate appearances. And in league play, check throw to first, not in time. Caden's hitting .326. 14 of his 18 hits have come in the last 15 games of the season. And that's what you hope to see. As Lucas takes off, and older brother is now in scoring position with stolen base, fourth of the inning for Taft. 1-1 count. As Caden thrust into action with the early season injury to Cam Kessler. Combs steps off and readjusts. And Coach Hilgers has trusted Caden to take almost all of the pitches behind the plate this year following that injury. That one misses outside from Combs. 2-1 count now to Caden. He's telling Grandma that Taft's had a solid standard behind the backstop. This one hit up the middle. Jack Booth comes over, makes the catch. There's the throw for out number 2 on a sac grounder for Caden. 6-3 that scores. Darius Smith on the play for out number 2, and it's a 6-0 Taft lead here in the bottom of the first. So Trenton Fisher, who had a 5-pitch walk, now has a single into left field, and this might have more on it as that one tinkles down the line as he was going to have a double. As Taft just continues their hitting ways, it's now Taft 7, Clatskanie 0 here in the bottom of the first. As Lucas came around to score on the double from Trenton. Second extra base hit of the inning for Taft. And with a runner on second, the umpires will make an adjustment with one down the first base side, the other over around shortstop. Get a good view of the action with Eli DeMello at the plate, and that pitch in the dirt blocked by Cade Warren. Eli had a single in his first at-bat, scored the game's first run. Back on a wild pitch from Cade Warren. A long first inning with Taft having scored 7 runs. Here's a check throw to first. Trenton dives back as good tag applied by Jack Booth at shortstop. Trenton got back in time. So 1-0 count. And gets Eli swinging, strike one. Took a big cut there. Trenton had the nice double that went down that left field line. See a few Tiger fans starting to arrive as this one hit third base line, played by Luke Roth, and it's fair ball. As Roth is pleading his case as the plate umpire signals that one fair, as Roth caught it right past the bag, and Coach Tompkins is going to come out here and argue this one with the plate ump. Trenton Fisher just stayed right on second base as they're trying to plead that that one was in foul territory when it was played. The umpire says otherwise, so it'll be a single for Eli, bringing Cody to the plate now. Back-to-back hits for the Tigers. Leading 7-0, runners on first and second with 2 outs. On that one hops to Warren, blocks and keeps it in front. Taft has 5 hits right now in the inning. So that one misses. Or no, that was Combs asking for a new ball. At this point, when you've given up 7, you'd probably say, you know what, let's just get rid of that baseball. Here's the 1-0 count. That one, again, 1 hops to Warren. As Clatskanie having played on Tuesday, just not that crisp right now. And for the Lady Tigers in the top of the 4th, they are leading Warrenton 7-0 as well. This one's hit to Booth at short. He comes forward, the throw to first, and a great stretch by Dawson Evenson to make the catch for the final out as Jack Booth got into the gap in time for the catch. And then a great stretch from Evenson at first. Finally ends the inning with 5 hits for the Taft Tigers. 2 left on base. They score 7 runs as we now go to the top of the 2nd. Taft 7, Clatskanie 0, back in 60 on your Tigers radio network. So here in the top of the 2nd on AM 1400 KBCH, the Taft Tigers lead 7-0 in both games. Here against Clatskanie, it's top 2. It's Taft 7-0. In the softball game against Warrenton, the Lady Tigers in the top of the 4th lead 7-0. Big thanks to Boone for that one. As Evenson takes a big cut on the curveball, strike 1. As Blaze Kimbrough struck out Cade Warrington for the 46th strikeout of the season. He's now got 1 more than he had last year. That one misses inside, ball 1. As Lady Tigers with the win today will assure themselves of a home game in the state playoffs on Wednesday. That one misses outside from Blaze, ball 2. Good job by Caden behind the plate. The boys with a win today, almost likely going on the road I'm not even going to get into the scenario because it's so implausible for Taft to host a baseball game. That one low inside, ball 3 now. So after giving up 7 runs in the first, Clatskanie, I'd sure like to see the leadoff man get on here, try and start a rally. Blaze throws this one down the tube. It's fouled in play and off the glove of Eli as he goes up against the fence to try and make the catch. And we'll try it again now with a full count, 3-2. Would have been a great play by DeMello had he been able to make the catch there. Hauled up right against that 10-foot chain-link fence along the first base side, going out into right field along the grass. We'll try it again, 3-2 here. That's a pitch from the lefty. Swung, hit to Cody at short. As that one, Cody, he just was unable to catch it cleanly, as that's going to go down as an E6, and then he tried to rifle a quick throw to first, and it just wasn't in time, so Foster Evenson gets on via an error. As each team now with a fielding error. So Andre Combs will come to the plate. And it starts off with a hit. It goes off the glove of a diving Fico Ramos, collected by Cody, and this will be an infield single for Andre Combs. And now there's 2 on, this time for left fielder Chase Baker. So first 2 batters have both come to the plate now for Clatskanie and gotten on. So Chase Baker will come up with Sam Shockley on deck. It's the 7, 8, 9 portion here. As Clatskanie is going to need them to produce if they're going to have a chance at upsetting Taft. This one, first pitch to Jordan Hall. Tags Combs in the base path, throws to first, and it's in time for the 4-3 double play. Good job by Jordan that time to make the tag unassisted and then throw to first for the double play. So 2 down now for Sam Shockley as Taft got a play that they needed on the play. Evenson moves all the way up to third, but now there's 2 outs for Sam Shockley. As first pitch swinging, foul back into the cage. Shockley had a few hits in Friday's doubleheader. Both games won by Taft. The first one 11-1, or the first game 10-2. The second game 11-1 in 6 innings. As it's an 0-1 count right now. Blaze throwing from the stretch, uses the curveball. This one's hit to Cody. 2-hopper, fields this one cleanly. Here's the throw. It's high to Eli, who gets off the bag, but he comes down and makes the tag against a diving Shockley. Oh, he says he doesn't like the samurai for baseball, but I tell you what, he's hopping like a kangaroo right now and making the play for the 3rd out of the inning, as Cody, just not a good throw that time, but a good tag from Eli DeMello, gets the final out. Clatskanie Tigers, they get 1 hit. Once again, they leave 1 on the base pass, and we go into the bottom of the second with Tigers leading the Tigers of Clatskanie by a score of 7-0 here on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH. It's the bottom of the second, with Taft leading Clatskanie by a score of 7-0. It's the 4-5-6 batters for Taft here, with Tye Fisher, the center fielder, leading off the inning. As Tye had a single and 2 stolen bases to come around to score in his first plate appearance. as Combs leads him off with a curveball. And it's the right call, but it's just a little bit late of a strike call from the plate umpire. 0-1 count for Combs to Fisher. As fastball misses away as he whipped that one hard. It got away from Warren. 1-1 count to Tye. With Blaze on deck and Fico in the hole defensively for Clatskanie. Combs is thrown to Cade Warren with Dawson Evenson at first, Shockley at second, Roth at third, and Booth at short. As called strike inside corner is now a 1-2 count to Tye Fisher. And the outfield for Clatskanie goes Baker, Evenson, George, left to right. The 1-2 misses outside. Good block by Warren. 2-2 count now for Tye. As on the season, Tye does lead the team in strikeouts with 18, but he's also got 27 hits. Now 11 stolen bases. Is apparently I needed to knock on wood as the curveball gets him for the strikeout. First out of the inning. Blaze Kimbrough now come to the plate as the pitcher got on via a full count walk, and because he's the pitcher, he gets a courtesy runner, and then Ethan Thomas would come around to score on the triple from Fico. First pitch strike outside part. As a belt high for Blaze. Looks away, and that one's in the turf. Ball one. Mentioned that Combs had a good first game on Friday, but for Taft, they've seen a lot of good pitchers over the years. They can hit good pitching. And for Combs, that's just what caught up to him as this one misses low. 2-1 count for Blaze as the senior has seen a lot of pitchers out of the West Valley through the years, and Taft has moved into a solid baseball league with number 5 Rainier finishing in first place and number 6 Warrenton finishing in second. Here's a hard chopper to Luke Roth. It's a high chopper, and Roth, even though his throw hits the turf, he gets it in time on the 5-3 ground out to Dawson Evenson for out number 2, bringing up Fico Ramos. So Fico following the triple that went into the left center field gap and went all the way to the fence. There's a little bit of wind coming in from center field towards home plate, but not much. Curveball misses away. Easy pitch for Fico to lay off. 1-0 count. As we're starting to see more fans show up here to the pit for this third place game, I imagine following the conclusion of the girls softball game. And Fico's got hit number 2 again down the left field line. As this one, he's going to dig for 2. The throw from Baker and the relay from Booth will not be in time, as he's been on top of everything. As he says, I don't need to go opposite when I can pull it hard like that. So Tigers with a runner at second with 2 outs for Darius Smith, the left fielder. As Darius drew a 5-pitch walk. He was the first batter that Andre Combs faced. As Fico, 2 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats. Curveball misses. Good block by Warren to keep that in front. 1-0 count to Darius. Taft looking to make this one a short one today against Clatskanie with the 7-0 lead. A chance to add to it here in the bottom of the second. Again, curveball misses. 2-0. Mentioned Darius last year hit 286. This year hitting 364 on the season. Next year expected to have that number climb, as Taft is going to have a solid group coming back. Just 3 seniors. And it's now 8-0 with no outs in the bottom of the 4th as that pitch misses and goes all the way back to the cage. So 2-1 to Darius, and looks on. And called strike. No. They just issue another balk? They must have, because Fico just trotted to third. So a balk was issued. It's now 9-0 in the bottom of the 4th for the Lady Tigers. As Darius swings through for strike 2. 2-2 count now for 0 at the plate with 2 outs here. Runner at third. Combs on the plate, on the mound, curveball. And that one, a late strike 3 call. Gets him looking for the final out of the inning. The Tigers, they get 1 hit, and they strand him at third on the called strikeout to end the inning to Darius. As we go into the top of the third, it is Taft 7, Clatskanie 0, back on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back to the top of the third inning on AM 1400 KBCH. In the bottom of the fourth, right now it's 9-0 for the Lady Tigers with another run in the bottom of the fourth. They'll go up 10-0 in the top of the fifth with the final 3 outs for Warrington. Plays Kimbrough. First pitch to Nick George, the number 9 batter, is a called strike. Then it'll be the top of the lineup with Luke Roth on deck. So Kimbrough, the 0-1. That one misses away, ball 1. Just 9 players today for Coach Tompkins. Injuries have been kind of a bug for Clatskanie this season. James Hellman, who is a second-team All-State infielder and just a great all-around athlete, has been out for the year. There's a swinging strike, too, for George. And then found out that Andre Combs' cousin Jakari had messed up his knee as Blaze gets George swinging for strikeout number 2 today. And the first out of the inning will bring up Luke Roth now for Clatskanie. As injuries are always a bummer to have at the high school level. As Tigers know that with Jack Stemple 2 years ago. This one hit foul out of play by Luke Roth. For Taft, they also had one this year with Cam Kessler. As they know that just because they've had injuries doesn't mean they can't have a solid season continue. 2 years ago when Jack missed the year with the broken ankle, they were able to go out to Rainier in the first round and win, as Luke Roth goes up the middle with a single, as that will now be the 3rd hit of the day for Clatskanie. They've got 1 hit in each inning so far, yet to make any of them count. So it'll be the shortstop now, Jack Booth. He had a ground out to Cody in his first at-bat. Then on deck will be Dawson Evenson. As this one's hit hard back to center, but it's hit right near Ty Fisher, who makes a few steps towards his left. And finally, this one falls into a glove for out number 2. After the last one from Luke Roth fell onto the grass for a hit. So Dawson Evenson will come to the plate with 2 outs. Dawson had a hit in the first. That one just was fair down the right field side in no man's land before Eli or Trenton could get to it. Called strike against Dawson, inside corner. 0-1 count as Coach Tompkins in the third base box looks on. Plays from the stretch with the runner on first. This one's hit up the middle. Second hit of the day for Dawson Evenson. As now 4 hits today for Clatskanie. 2 outs, though. Cade Warren will come to the plate. We saw him take a big swing earlier, and we know that he's capable of taking some big cuts. We saw it on Friday's doubleheader. Down 7-0 for Clatskanie. They're going to have to take advantage of stringing some of those hits into runs. For Taft. That was a problem at Warrenton earlier this season when on April 30th they lost by a score of 2-4. They out-hit Warrenton as Warren swings through for strike one. They out-hit the Warriors in that game, but the Warriors were able to string their hits together in timely fashion and score more runs than Taft was able to. And it's a big reason also why Taft at 11-4, had they been 12-3, Warrenton would have ended up at 11-4, and then at 12-3 and Rainier at 12-3, because you won the series against Rainier, you would have been the league champions. That one is fouled back by Warren into the cage. 0-2 count, and that's how baseball works sometimes. Just a few different hits, a few different outs go your way, and Taft could have ended up as the league champs and would have been hosting a first-round game like they did last year. Of course, they know that Horizon Christian as a 10 seed made it to the state championship game last year. A combination of one good pitcher and great hitting in the other games. That one misses away. 1-2 count to Cade Warren at the plate for Blaze Kimbrough. He's been the Tigers' ace this season with the best ERA on the staff. 2-2 count as he doesn't give him a good one there. Plays on the year 1.32 ERA and in league plays at 1.4. He's pretty much just like Trenton's batting average in league and on the season. Pretty much the same as this one's popped up and won't be able to be played by Caden. I'll put the mask back on, try it again with a 2-2 count. Warren with two on. Roth with good speed at second. Evenson at first base. As Eli, he's playing back with two outs. Blaze will throw from the stretch, even though he's not worried about the runners. That pitch misses Warren high. Full count now. And for Blaze, this is the second full count situation. He faced one with Foster Evenson. Was able to get back on base to lead off the second. From an error from Cody. As that pitch is inside for a ball. So first walk issued by Blaze. Will load the bases for Foster Evenson. And so big opportunity for Clatskanie with two outs. And the base is full for Foster Evenson. On deck, the freshman Andre Combs. Right now it's senior versus senior. With the lefty Kimbrough missing that pitch away to the righty Evenson. The Blaze want to find his mark here. Eli at first. Imagine if Blaze leads early today. It'll be for Eli at first. And that one's inside and low, ball two. So Foster with the 2-0 count. Blaze comes back, fastball misses low and away, 3-0. No place to put him. See if Evenson has a green light with a 3-0 count. And the pitch, called strike one. I'll try it again. A little bit of wind moving in from center field, but not much, but there is a bit of movement on the flagpole. The 3-1 count. Gets him swinging, strike two. So the count is full for the second time in as many at-bats for senior southpaw Blaze Kimbrough. Going to shut the door here in the top of the third. That one's fouled back as the runners were all in motion with two outs. Trying to put pressure on the Tigers, knowing that they got to do something, get themselves back into it. Trailing 7-0 here in the top of the third. The full count pitch from Blaze Kimbrough as runners take off again, and it's looking for ball four. So they take off running for first run for the Clatskanie Tigers. RBI walk for Foster Evenson scores Luke Roth. So Dawson Evenson is at third, Cade Warren's at second, and Foster Evenson is at first base for Andre Combs. As Coach King's going to come out right now and speak with Blaze and Coach Hilgers. And In the Lady Tigers game, it's now a 10-0 lead going into the top of the fifth. So for the Lady Tigers, 3 outs with no runs against Warrenton, and they will be headed officially to the OSAA state playoffs. Currently ranked number 6 for the Lady Tigers. That would give them an at-large position. It would give them the 3rd at-large position behind second place Rainier, and then as well as second place South Umpqua, who currently is ranked number 2 in the state, but Cascade Christian ranked number 3 is the league leader down there. First pitch to Combs, misses. And Blaze now having a bit of control, trying to find his mark in a 7-1 game following the RBI walk. As gets Combs swinging, strike 1. As Combs had a single in his first at-bat. He stayed at first base, though, as that was one that was hit off the glove of the diving Fico Ramos, who just by being able to get a glove on it probably saved Dawson Evenson from being able to get any further than he did on the play, or Foster, excuse me. 2-1 count. This one popped up and foul along the first base side. That's the Clatskanie dugout side, Taft side along the third base side. Beautiful facilities here at the pit. We've got the nice players clubhouse out in center field, and we've got the beautiful press box up here with players lounge. The 2-2 from Kimbrough gets him swinging, strike 3 to finally end the inning, but not before Clatskanie is able to put 1 run. They strand 3 on the base paths after getting 2 hits and the RBI walk to get 1 back. As we go bottom 3, it is Taft 7, Clatskanie 7 here on your Taft Tigers radio network. I'm Eric Goss on AM 1400 KBCH, where you can find podcasts of our games online at kbcham.com. Just go to Taft Tigers, and then most everything is now in Taft Tigers podcast group number 3. As we're in the bottom of the third, with Taft leading Clatskanie in the third place game by a score of 7-1. Mentioned in the other third place game, the Lady Tigers leading the Warrenton Warriors 10-0 going into the top of the fifth, so 3 outs against Warrenton with no runs coming across the plate in the fifth. Will have the Lady Tigers win in a 10-run Mercy Rule finish. For Clatskanie, Andre Combs, the freshman, will continue on the hill, throwing to Cade Warren with Dawson Evenson at first, Sam Shockley at second, Luke Roth at third, Jack Booth at shortstop, Chase Baker in left field, Foster Evenson in center, and Nick George in right field. For the Tigers, that's the bottom of the lineup, 8-9-1. So it'll be the Heineman boys, Lucas and Caden, followed by Trenton Fisher this inning. As Taft with a 6-run lead, looking to add to it here. As overcast skies today, as fortunately it has stayed dry. Taft with the all-turf infield has been fortunate to get a lot of games played over the years. As Trenton starts off, first pitch swinging in the gap, Jack Booth is able to get to it, but on the transfer, he's not able to keep it cleanly. It goes out of the glove, and I don't think he would have had a chance at Lucas either way. I said Trenton, it was Lucas. Trenton will come to the plate this inning, but first it's going to be freshman catcher Caden Heineman now. as Lucas has been on a tear hitting in league play. He's hitting .500 in the league. He reached by an error in his first at-bat. Ball called to Caden at the plate. Caden had a RBI sac grounder. It scored Fico back in the first. Check throw to try and get Lucas, not in time. So 1-0 count, nobody out, and a 7-0 Tiger lead against Clatskanie. There's the pitch, hit high into shallow left field. Chase Baker comes forward, and he makes the diving catch. Good play by Chase Baker to rob Caden Heineman of the hit for out number 1. We'll bring up the leadoff man, Trenton Fisher. Trenton with a walk and a double today. Tapped so far with 7 hits for Clatskanie. They have 4 hits on the day. As again, another check throw down to first, not in time. On deck, Eli DeMello. First pitch to Trenton. It was called strike inside half of the plate. A 1 count. As Trenton ended up at third in the first on the walk, stayed at second on the double. As on the season, the young man scored 26 runs. That pitch low, popped up. It looks like it's playable by Evenson. Foul territory along first base. And he makes the catch on the pop-up for out number 2 by Dawson Evenson, bringing up Eli DeMello. The junior first baseman had a single and would come around to score in the first inning. Then he had a single in the second inning. Here in the third, really keep the inning alive with 2 outs. Combs throwing from the stretch with Trenton at first, who takes off. Warren's throw to second is offline, and Trenton, he didn't slide, and lucky for him, Booth was wide of the bag. As Lucas, again, I keep mixing up Trenton and Lucas, as with the big batting helmets on, they look the same. So stolen base for Lucas, his second of the day. He's now in scoring position for Eli. Taft leading 7-1. It's a 1-0 count. As that one is inside, and it's the third balk of the day called. So it'll remain a 1-0 count as Lucas will trot to third. As I got my headphones on, and even I could hear the plate umpire yell out, "That's a balk." Just a little bit of rock from Combs. And if he does it again, he's going to send Lucas in. Time is called by Eli at the plate, who I think he got rid of the shin guard there. So 1-0 count for DeMello. Combs, curveball outside. Lucas will stay at third, as Warren did a good job coming up to catch that. 2-0 now for DeMello. So on Sunday, the all-league selections were made between the coaches as part of their coaches meeting. Pitch misses high, 3-0. As Coach Hilters, he'll tell me after the season how that turns out. Doesn't want it to be a distraction for the players. Some guys arguing they should have been higher than they wanted to be. Curveball, and it's going to be another balk issued. So pitch doesn't count on the 3-0 count. Lucas will come around to score. Run number 8. So 2 balks brought Lucas from second to third in this scenario, making it an 8-1 game now for Taft. So nobody on the bases, a 3-0 count for Eli DeMello for Andre Combs. And that one misses outside for a walk. So Eli back on the base pass for the Tigers, giving them a base runner for Cody Knott. As Combs will continue. Cody, he had a fielder's choice to Luke Roth in the first inning. That Roth made a good play, threw it to Jack Booth, who was playing catcher at the time, to tag out Trenton Fisher. This time, Jack Booth nowhere near in the gap at short, as Cody hits that one hard and through. Eli's going to get an extra bag on the play as the speed from DeMello whips around second, the head first slide into third before Luke Roth can get the relay throw. So Cody at first with runners on the corners following the single. And it's the second hit of the inning for the Tigers, and it'll bring up Ty Fisher. Cade Warren's going to call out the play behind the plate defensively because with the runners on the corners and the Tigers leading base thief with 18 on the season at first, you expect to see Cody take off. As pitch one, he does not. That one is fouled back. Ty, late decision to swing there. 0-1 count. 2 outs. Tigers got the 1 run back that Clatskanie scored in the top of the third. A win for Combs as Cody takes off. That pitch is outside, and with the pitch being outside, Warren didn't have a chance to try and throw down to second. Not that was perhaps the defensive call they would have gone with good speed at third base. 1-1 count for Ty. High pitch, he swings at it. This one might be playable for Evenson. Nope. It's right in the handicap parking spot where nobody was parked. So no damage to a car done. It's a 1-2 count for Ty. He's been a little indecisive with some of his swings here in this at-bat. Both foul pitches for strikes have been kind of late swings. A 1-2 count. That one calls him strike on the outside corner. He's been a little late on some of those calls. He does kind of like a point down booyah instead of the old side pump that I'm used to seeing from officials. But it's the second strikeout today for Ty Fisher, and for the Tigers, they get 2 hits. And they leave 2 runners on base after scoring 1 run. We go to the top of the fourth. It is Taft 8, Clatskanie 1 here on your Taft Tigers radio network. We're joined with Boone Marker up here in the beautiful Players Lounge. So, Boone, the girls came away a 10-0 victory today?
I think it's 10-0. I left right there at the top of the fifth, but they were taking care of business.
All right. Well, as long as they don't give up a run or score whatever they give up there in the fifth, they'll be doing just fine. As the boys up 8-1 here in the top of the fourth is Blade. First pitch outside to Chase Baker, who ground into a double play in his first at-bat today. As the Lady Tigers look to host a game as they are currently ranked number 6. The pitch looked like it was in the same spot. Last time that was a ball. This time a late called strike as just the punctuality of this plate on hasn't been as crisp and decisive as that time. No doubt about it, Chase Baker swinging away for strike number 2. As Blaze, so far today, he's got 3 strikeouts, 48 on the season. Here in inning number 4. This one hit down the first base line, and Eli collects, and they say it was foul. I don't know. Eli's foot might have been on the bag when he caught that one. But if it had hit in foul territory before that point, then obviously it's foul. But had his foot been on the bag at first, and he caught it before it hit foul, you can play that ball. But it's a 1-2 count for Baker, the left fielder, and this one fouled straight back, so he's on top of it, just underneath of it. So level swing from Baker. As Clatskanie, they've got 4 hits today. They've stranded 5 runners on base. They have 1 throwing error with 1 run scored. As this one hit hard down the first base side, and this time it is in fair territory for Eli to collect on the 3 unassisted. As Baker, a good job staying back on that one, but into the waiting hands of Eli DeMello. Bring up second baseman now, Sam Shockley. Shockley grounded out to Cody in his first at-bat back in the 2nd inning. So second baseman, we mentioned he had a good game in Friday's doubleheader. Looking to get the first man on here in the 4th. Fouls that back, 0-1 count. As Blaze had a spot of trouble there, going up against the 4, 5, 6 batters for Clatskanie that last inning with back-to-back walks before the strikeout to Combs ended the inning. Shockley, a piece of it. It's going to go foul. Will it stay in play? No. It's about 2 feet over the fence. Eli had a play in the similar spot earlier today where it just stayed in foul territory but playable. He's got about the 10-foot fence. Don't know if he's allowed to climb the fence in that situation. I don't think so. The 0-2 for Kimbrough to Shockley. Curveball. That was outside. There's no doubt about it. Some of the fans, I think that was Dad next door who wanted that called strike 3 there, but that was outside. Shockley, not the tallest of batters. In that situation, it's more about the left to right. This one hit Trenton in right field. The can of corn he's still waiting for it to come down and finally makes the catch for out number 2. As Little Fish, a stalwart defensively out in right field for Taft, as Coach Ilgers tried to start Trenton at second base early this season, and it was just clear that they needed his presence out there in the outfield. And they've done a good job this year as Nick George starts off swinging strike 1 to Blaze here in the top of the 5th with 2 outs. On deck is the leadoff man, Luke Roth, who scored the first run today for Clatskanie. Curveball misses away. And Boone, one thing about Luke is when we went to Coos Bay for the basketball championship, Luke, as a senior, very interested in sports journalism, writes for OSAA Today. As Cody takes the liner, as we'll talk more about Luke Roth in the top of the 5th inning, as the line out to Cody, L6, ends the threat, and it's the first inning that Clatskanie gets no hits and no one left on base. We go bottom 4. Taft leads Clatskanie 8-1 here on your Taft Tigers radio network. This is called Open Broadcast Software, and
I love it.
so I've got and then I'll move this order down so I can just keep kind of my lineup right there. Just what controls everything, so I've spread it out over the full screen. In the Taft pitcher box, it's just a real small one. Same with the batter, the scoreboard boxes. And I can have multiple cameras. Plug them in through there with the VHD. So it's just a matter of learning how to use it.
Yep.
Because not using the NFHS network. So in the bottom of the 4th, Blaze Kimbrough will go up against... Oh, that's the wrong one on my video cast today with Andre Combs. First pitch misses outside to Blaze Kimbrough here in the bottom of the 4th inning with Taft leading 8-1. As Andre Combs has been in relief of Cade Warren, who went a third of an inning pitched. That one misses. Ball 2 from the freshman Combs. As he was the star point guard, led the team to a league championship this year in basketball. as he will see more of his time come on the football field next year as well. He was the backup quarterback for them and showed off some wheels on the football field. But right now on the baseball diamond, Taft Tigers a totally different beast. There's the first pitch, a called strike to Blaze Kimbrough with a 3-0 count. It's now 3-1 as gets Blaze swinging through strike two. Blaze with a walk and a ground out today. So Luke Roth in his last at-bat, he's done a great job of making contact. The 3-2 got a piece of that foul with that, so we'll try it again. On deck is Fico Ramos. Fico's had a great day today with a triple in his first at-bat, a double in his second at-bat. If he keeps swinging like that, he won't have a chance to hit for the cycle because this game will be over before he's got a fourth attempt. And the curveball misses from Andre Combs on the full count. It's the second full count walk drawn for Blaze as Blaze heads on down to first base. Out comes the courtesy runner, Ethan Thomas. So Ethan heads to first, and Ethan had a heads-up play on a hit and run on Fico's triple that allowed him to come around to score. As that's part of what allowed Fico to advance to third was the fact that third was unoccupied. So Combs throwing from the stretch here. Curveball misses high. Fico leads the team in free passes issued with 24 free ones on the year, 20 by a walk, 4 from getting hit. Those are the best kinds too. You know you've earned it that way. That time swings through hard. Thomas hustles back to first as Warren, the check throw back down, trying to get Thomas sleeping on the bases. Ethan, though, wide awake for this one. There's no wind right now here at the TID. It hasn't been a windy day. That one is low, blocked by Warren, who keeps it in front and keeps Thomas at first base. But it's now a 2-1 count for Fico. And a 2-1 count, definitely a hitter's count for the Taft Tigers. As you know, you can't miss. This one doesn't miss. It just hits outside, and there's that outside strike zone once again today. 2-2 count. As Coach Hilger's in the box along the third base side, issues the command. Fico, the 2-2, looking to go up against Combs. Curveball misses away, gets away from Warren, and Thomas is halfway down to second base by the time that one hit the back of the glove of Warren and got away from him. So it'll end up as a passed ball, but Ethan Thomas, had Warren caught that cleanly, Thomas was gone. 3-2 count for Fico. That one misses just high. Fico, had he been 2 inches taller, that's probably strikeout number 4 for Combs. And instead, it's back-to-back walks. And it'll bring up 0, Darius Smith, the left fielder. That's a young man at Willamina a few weeks ago, had an inside-the-park home run. He's got the speed. He might be one of the fastest Tigers. Looks at strike 1 there. So far today, he has a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Also had a strikeout looking. Curveball, and that is the 5th balk issued. And once again, the Tiger runners are going to move up 90 feet without having to do anything that time. And it takes away, I believe, what it was also been at the plate. As it was a nice curveball from Combs, and instead it just remains an 0-1 count instead of being 0-2. There's the pitch from Combs, and that one misses outside. So again, instead of being a 1-2 count now with runners at first and second, it's a 1-1 count with runners at second and third. Lucas on deck. Darius swings at the high heat for strike number 2. It looks like it's in your zone when it's letter high, but you got to lay off that. You want them belt high. A 1-2 from Combs. Curveball misses high. Tried to come back there with the breaking pitch. Just missed, but that one a lot closer to the zone than some of the other pitches that have missed for the Clatskanie hurlers today. As this one 2-2 hit towards Evenson at first base. This is going to score Ethan for the first out on the 3 unassisted sack grounder for Darius. So 1 out recorded, and for the Tigers, Fico will head down to third as Ethan Thomas scores run number 9, bringing up Lucas Heineman to the plate. Lucas hitting 500 in league play to lead the team in league play. Of course, he doesn't have the same amount of at-bats as Eli does, or Cody, as Eli hitting 455 in league play. Darius is hitting 421. This guy at the plate, as we said, hitting 500. Little brother behind him is hitting 326 in league. It's a 357 league batting average. This one popped up foul behind us, so a 1-1 count now for Lucas Heineman. 9-1 Tigers lead over the Clatskanie Tigers here in Special District 2's third place game. That pitch is outside. Warren blocks. As I peek my eyes towards the Taft Tigers dugout, I saw Jordan Hall and Eli DeMello come in from the bullpen. So perhaps expect to see Eli close out the top of the 5th, especially if Taft can get another 2 runs here. Called strike to Lucas at the plate. 1-2 count. That one low and away, but in a good spot for Combs. 2-2 count. And curveball misses. Did it plunk him? It did. It nicked him just enough. Hit by pitch for Lucas. He heads to first. Up steps little brother, Caden. Said Caden hitting 326 in league play. He's got an RBI sack grounder, and then he has a fly out to Chase Baker in left field. We'll pause while Luke Roth works on the cleats. With runners on the corners, and the Tigers needing to get 2 more runs here, I imagine we could see Lucas take off. He does have 2 stolen bases today. This one popped into left field. Baker, he's going to come forward, makes the catch. Here's the tag from Fico. The throw will come, no. Combs will cut it off, and that was a wise play as it wasn't going to come in to Warren in time. So for Caden, a second sacrifice RBI. This time it's an F7 that scores Fico, making it a 10-1 lead for the Tigers. Lucas stays at first base on the play. So Tigers need 1 more run. Trent Fisher comes to the plate in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. Swats this one. Luke Roth comes to his left, makes the catch. There's the throw to Evenson in time on the 5-3 grounder. So Taft scores 2 runs in the inning. They do it on 3 walks as they leave 1 man on the base pass. They do it with no hits and 3 walks too. It's now going top 5, Taft 10, Clatskanie 1 here on your Taft Tigers radio network.
Probably going to be good on Wednesday. I mean, the girls, if they win, will go to Medford on Friday. The boys game, they'll go to Pleasantville. So George is likely going to call the girls game on Wednesday. And then they'll switch, and I'll call the girls game since it's going to be short and bad. Unfortunately, though, it looks like the Walport should play at home on Monday.
Welcome back to the top of the 5th inning here on AM 1400 KBCH, where pitching change has been made for the Taft Tigers as they will bring in Eli DeMello. So the junior see his first action today on the hill after 4 innings from Blaze Kimbrough. Here in the top of the 5th, it's Taft 1, Taft 10, Clatskanie 1. Wrong Tigers there in the scoreboard, Eric. So defensively, it's just a 1-3 swap. So Eli on the hill, throwing to Caden with Blaze at first, Jordan at second, Fico at third, Cody at short, Darius in left, Ty in center, and Trenton in right. Luke Roth, as we mentioned last inning when the Tigers were batting, he hits this one hard to third, and it's fair down the line as this one got a chance for extra bases. He turns and then stops. As Tigers, Darius has got a good throw into Cody on the relay, and for Clatskanie, you need to push the issue here late, but you can't get outs either. So Luke Roth quickly down to first. Doesn't even give me a chance to really talk about it here. That's his second hit of the day, but young man interested in sports journalism, as he may end up calling a girls softball game for Walport next week for us. We'll explain that in a moment as Booth hits this one to third, as Fico is able to get it, but the throw from Fico to Hall takes him off the bag at second. That'll be an error on the play, the second of the day for the Tigers. And then Jordan Hall tried to get the throw over to first in time. So the fielder's choice will keep both Roth safe at second and Booth safe at first. So as we try and figure out some of the 2A and 3A brackets, the 2A, 1A brackets will be set tonight at 10 p.m. as we see the ladies softball Tigers show up as they were victorious today against Warrenton. First pitch strike from DeMello to Dawson Evenson at the plate. As Walport, the Lady Irish, would play on Monday, as they have 22 teams in the tournament at the 2A level as opposed to 16 at the 3A and 4A levels. So a few teams get a first round bye. That pitch misses inside. One of those teams that would get a bye would be the Toledo Boomers softball team, as Lincoln County is going to send 4 of its 5 teams in softball to the state playoffs. That one chopped foul, 1-2 count. In baseball, Toledo is on the cusp of either hosting as the 8 seed or going on the road as the 9 seed on Wednesday. Taft, we can already tell you, is going on the road to Eastern Oregon, and the girls will host. It's always fun to get those under the way, but with Luke Roth, an interested young sports journalist, having the opportunity, we may get to hear him call the Lady Irish, as right now that second round game on Wednesday is in Vernonia, which is just a short drive from Clatskanie. That one misses outside, 2-2 count for Eli DeMello. As Eli on the hill today, getting a little bit of action here before the Tigers go into the playoffs. They've played up all their regular season contests. Some teams scheduling some late non-league contests. This one's hit foul down the first base side. As I believe that is assistant coach Warren over there making the grab. So it's not just Coach Hilgers with the good hands in the coaches' boxes. 1-2 count for Evenson. One lefty in the lineup for Clatskanie, and he pokes this one into center, but it's a high fly ball. Ty comes forward, makes the catch for the first out. So Evenson, after collecting 2 singles in his first 2 at-bats, has a pop-up to Ty for out number 1, bringing up the catcher, Cade Warren. So Cade Warren with a strikeout and a walk today. The junior right-hander steps in. On deck is Foster Evenson, the center fielder. So 1 out, a 10-1 lead. That one's down the pipe, strike 1 on the fastball from DeMello. So a whole lot of baseball and softball coming up next week. Of course, the Lady Cubs have a play-in game tomorrow afternoon. As fastball inside misses, ball 1. In other action, of course, the Trailblazers have already tipped off in game number 2 against the Golden State Warriors, as all games start at 6 o'clock every other day. So next game will be on Saturday. It'll be at the Moda Center. This one inside and low, ball 2. Good block by Caden behind the plate with Roth at second and Booth at first. As Tigers have given up 1 run back in the third. Don't want to give up any more late. As Warren swings, that one got a piece of it on the return after hitting the turf. So 2-2 count for Cade Warren. Tigers, we've seen him turn one double play today. It was to Jordan Hall at second. Right now, he and Cody are playing close to the bag. Cody backs off. Jordan's still playing towards the bag. Warren in on the hands, pops this one high. Blaze will come up with the catch as they make the infield fly selection with runners on first and second and less than 2 outs. There now are 2 outs for Foster Evenson, the center fielder, who has a walk, and he reached via error earlier. He could be the last batter of the day for Clatskanie if Eli can hold Clatskanie here in the top of the 5th. That one in the turf gets away from Caden, and the runners move up a bag. So that'll go down as a wild pitch as Luke Roth gets to third, Booth gets down to second. 1-0 count for Evenson. Righty. That's the righty. Senior versus junior on the hill. That's one inside, popped up again. Cody will head out to the outfield grass 3 feet deep and make the catch for the final out on back-to-back pop-ups to end the inning for Clatskanie. They get 1 hit, they leave 2 on the base paths, and we go into the bottom of the 5th. Taft needs 1 run to end this game. We'll be back on your Taft Tigers radio network. Emma, what was the final? 10-0. Thank you. Good luck next week. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Taft leads by a score of 10-0, or 10-1, excuse me. It's the Lady Tigers who just won 10-0 against the visiting Warrenton Warriors in the 3rd place game, which means that they likely aren't going to fall in the rankings, as they're currently right now the number 3 team as far as hosting. As you've got 5 league champions and then 3 at-large teams. Next highest ranked teams will host, and right now Taft comes in on that list, so they should host a good team in the first round, but a team that is going to have to come to Taft to try and pick up the win, as the boys, they're going to be going on the road here, as they're still, it's a 7-inning game unless Taft can score 1 run here. And it's going to be Eli DeMello to start things off. Don't be surprised here if he tries to drop a bunt down at all, as he's got the speed. Of course, Luke Roth at third base is not afraid of coming forward, as he knows Eli likes to bunt. He's starting to come forward already. Toes on the grass here at the turf. And Combs, he just misses, and Eli stares him down with the bat flip. As that one hits him on the shoulder, he hustles to first base, taking a little bit of an exception to that one, but I don't think there was any intent there. I think the freshman Combs has pitched 4 innings today and is starting to lose a little bit of control is all. Because frankly, you don't want to put a base runner on for the Tigers' leading RBI man, Cody Knott, and end the game with the swing of the bat here and the speed on the base paths. As there's the check throw. It's over the head of Dawson Evenson. The throw was wide, and now Eli is at second base. And 2 bad throws from Andre Combs, and Eli DeMello's 180 feet now from ending the game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Unlike when the Tigers were up in the top of the 6th with a 10-run lead, here in the bottom There's no doubt about it. You score a run and making it 10 runs, it's game over. That one misses to Cody for the first pitch. 1-0 as our field umps adjust accordingly here from the Mid-Valley Umpires Association. As making sure that everybody's on the right page for this. Combs throwing from the stretch. The freshman going up against the senior shortstop, Cody Knott. He steps off the rubber, and that's been an issue for Combs today. He's had several balks. As I think it's been at least 5 that he has had. Warren had one as well. It's been a problem for Clatskanie. They're going to try and get Eli, who gets it back to the bag in time. He sticks the right foot out towards second before Booth can make the tag. Booth's had some nice tags applied at second. Hasn't been able to get any of the Taft Tiger base runners. As Taft hopes to keep it that way. The 1-0 curveball. Cody stays back, hits this one to Chase Baker in left field. It'll be a can of corn for him as he makes the catch. Eli tags the throw, Booth the relay as Eli stays at second. So 1 down now. It'll be Ty Fisher's turn with a crack of the bat. See if he can make a play. As a senior, he's 1 for 3 today. He had a single in his first at-bat. Would come around to score, but then he's got 2 strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats. Last one was a strikeout looking. We'll probably see an aggressive approach from Ty following that. As that pitch misses away. Ball 1. Ty gets on the base pass again. He's not the man to worry about. It's DeMello as the lead runner who's got the chance to end the game. Of course, we've seen Ty go yard twice this year, but the bases aren't full. This one up the middle. Booth will get to it. Can he make the throw in time? Ty stretches, and the out is recorded at first. Good play by Jack Booth to get around to make the throw on the 6-3 ground out. Second out of the inning will bring up Blaze Kimbrough. Base hit from Blaze, and this game is over. Otherwise, we will go to the top of the 6th with Taft leading Clatskanie 10-1. Kimbrough with 22 runs batted in on the season. First pitch swinging up, a pitch away, 0-1. As the fans are getting pumped. The 0-1 to Kimbrough from Combs. This one hit. Booth, he gets to it. Here's the throw to first. If it's in time, it's not in time. The throw, Evenson tried to make the play on it by stretching out, but it gets away. That scores Eli DeMello on the throwing error. And the Taft Tigers win today by a score of 11-1 on the hit from Blaze Kimbrough that scores Eli on the error from Jack Booth. It's just the second error of the day for Clatskanie, but it scores DeMello, who comes across to give Taft the win today, 11-1 to win the 3rd place game. So Clatskanie will finish in 5th place today, but 4th place, does not get you into the state tournament. 3rd place does, and that is where the Taft Tigers finish is 3rd place, awaiting the standings updates on Saturday night at 10 p.m. to see how things play out. Taft wins 11-1. We'll tell you a little bit more about it here coming up in 2 minutes on your Taft Tigers radio network. Yep. No hits. All right, so 5, 6, 8.
you on the road.
Take care, Boone. Welcome back to AM 1400 KBCH. I'm Eric Goss, where the Taft Tigers beat the Clatskanie Tigers 11-1 today in Special District 2 in the third place game. The Lady Tigers defeat the Warrenton Warriors by a score of 10-0 in 5 innings today. So each team coming up with the 5-inning, 10-run rule games. Lady Tigers put a donut on the board. Tigers put up one more run but gave up one more. They scored 7 runs in the first. Clatskanie scored in the top of the third. The Tigers would get the run back in the bottom of the third. They held Clatskanie scoreless in the fourth and the fifth. After scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, they would score the game-winning run in the bottom of the fifth on a Blaze Kimbrough grounder that was missed alone by Jack Booth at shortstop. The Dawson Stevenson unable to collect, so with Blaze being safe at first base, Eli DeMello scoring from third on the play made an 11-1 game and the final out of the inning. Final numbers today, the Taft Tigers, they get 11 runs on 8 hits. They strand 6 runners on the base pass and commit 2 errors. For the Clatskanie Tigers, they would get 1 run today on 5 hits. They would strand 7 runners left on base and commit 2 errors. So both the boys and the girls come up with third place finishes that are automatic qualifiers to the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union State Championships coming up on Wednesday afternoon. The girls will be hosting. The boys will be going on the road. The matchups are still to be determined. Tomorrow, the Lady Cubs have a play-in game. And tonight at 10 o'clock, the standings for the 2A, 1A brackets will be set. And then over the weekend, we will know how it all finishes out. This is the final home game of the year for the 3 seniors for the Tigers: Cody Knott, Ty Fisher, and Blaze Kimbrough, as Blaze is out there with this freshman catcher right now with some of the local sports media like Justin Verner, getting these interviews going as they prepare for another state championship run in the baseball and softball tournament. Each team last year would fall to the eventual state champions. This time, though, the Tigers are hoping they have what it takes in 2019. We'll be back with more information throughout the coming days about how everything plays out as far as the various games. You can keep abreast by visiting osaa.org, going to spring sports and just checking out the brackets for baseball and softball. Of course, you can check us out on Twitter at Gosscaster, and throughout the week on our variety of stations here on Winnipeg Communications. I'm Eric Goss for AM 1400 KBCH, podcast found at kbcham.com. If you're interested in advertising for the state playoffs, you can call us during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, at 265-2266. Say, I want to support playoff baseball and softball in Lincoln County. That does it today with the Tigers coming up with 2 wins. Have a great weekend, and go Blazers as they look to even up the series 1-1 against the Golden State Warriors. We'll also have Blazers games for you this weekend on Saturday at 6 o'clock for game number 3 at the Moda Center. That does it today. Have a great day, Tiger fans, from all of us on AM 1400 KBCH.